I like my truth uncensored. My whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. I like my truth.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Oh God, and Sandman over there from Viral Hip Hop News. If you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, if you enjoy the content, please go ahead and give us a 5-star rating right now. If you would just take the time out to do that, we do appreciate that. Now, Sandman, you were telling me about some backlash that Joe Budden is receiving as of late.
Yeah, man. So obviously the Toronto Raptors in the NBA Finals get to go to State Warriors. Kawhi Leonard being the main staple and the reason why they're sitting in the NBA Finals right now. So in the lead up to the NBA Finals, we get to build up, we get to talk in the backstory, things like that. So on the Joe Budden podcast, they were just talking about a number of topics, and one in particular was Kawhi Leonard, and his dad came up. Now, if you don't know Kawhi Leonard's history, one of the main things in knowing Kawhi Leonard, because he doesn't give out much information, he's real quiet, is his dad was murdered in 2008, January 2008 in Compton at his car wash. He was murdered, shot and killed. That got by Joe Budden today, or a couple of days ago, whenever it was. And he went in. He said, guess who's a killer? Kawhi's dad. It's a fact. And this is what Joe Budden was theorized. Now, while he directly did not cite where he got his information, he explained that his pops was a shooter in 5 different publications. That's where he's seen it. He did his research and said that his dad was a banger. He said his dad is in jail for, I think, whatever. I won't get into it, I'm afraid. And the uncle is out here handling the business as Kawhi Leonard's manager. When you look at Kawhi and his game and his demeanor, don't it sound about right? And then you're happy to know that his dad was a shooter and his uncle was a shooter. Now, the host Rory went in and looked it up and said, nah, his father, Mark, was shot and killed January 18th, 2008 at the Compton car wash that he owned. He may have been involved in something, but he is now passed away. So obviously you would have thought that Joe Budden would say my fault, blah, blah, blah. But no, Joe Budden said, well, I'm sorry to hear that, condolences, but I stand by my word. He said that he was a gangster. It was what it was. Okay, rest in peace. That doesn't change my story. All right, so he's not there. But guess what? In the articles that I read before he left, he was getting busy. And to my knowledge, I think his uncle gets busy too. Now, his uncle is his agent. So he works hand in hand with Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi keeps it in his family, which we all the way respect.
Yeah, definitely.
But did Joe Budden cross the line? Did he go too far? Now, we respect podcasts, go all the way in and all that. But we also have a line of respect as well. So did Joe cross the line in your opinion?
I think that when you say something about the deceased, that could be crossing the line. Children, things like that, people's significant others, that could be, what you consider crossing the line, especially if you don't know all the details of the particular story. Now, his father may have been into what he's in and whatnot, and who knows, you know what I'm saying? But the facts that we do know that he was gunned down, at his car wash in Compton. He read that in the paper and whatnot. All the other stuff is just hearsay, whether or not he was in the street and whatnot. And even if he was, did that justify him being killed? You know what I mean? I don't know. Depending on what he did, people say maybe, but maybe Joe Budden probably crossed the line with that one a little bit, man. Did Kawhi say anything, or he just kind of brushed it off?
Kawhi's not saying shit.
Okay,
but that's okay. And this is the whole thing, though, because to a certain degree, now we were raised in a very good household. We had a very good foundation around us. Right. But we grew up around some real motherfuckers, and we seen some shit. And we obviously know conversations. Some conversations you have behind camera, and some conversations, okay, that's the green light to have on camera. Right. When you talk about this kind of situation, this is a great topic of conversation to have behind camera. Yo, man, I was doing receipts, so and so, you got busy, blah 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 blah. But then when you kind of translate it into content, people can kind of question your credibility and question why and the intent on why you're doing it. And I respect the fuck out of Joe Budden, and I think he's a real nigga, and he understands the level of, okay, these are behind camera conversation and these are on camera conversation. And he may have crossed the line a little bit because Kawhi Leonard's uncle is sitting here doing business. Kawhi Leonard is known as a upstanding individual in the NBA, doing his thing. Yeah. He never personally puts any of his business out there. If he wanted any of this business out here, let Kawhi Leonard put it out there. Give that man who's still living, who's guarded as one of the greatest NBA players that we have to date right now, top 5 easily. Yeah. Let him go out and tell his story, a story that he doesn't say anything about. For you, the #1 podcast, hip hop podcast, Spotify, and all that good stuff, to put this information out and have people talk about it, this is a little bit distasteful.
Yeah, it is, and it's one of those things where over this career, long time, people are probably going to say some things they regret.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, I would like to hear more what Joe Budden has to say, on it. But that kind of is what it is. I think it will definitely be crossing the line, because especially if your information is, whether it's accurate or not, you just don't do that, because now you put yourself in a position where one of these guys can take that personally, and like YG was talking about putting hands on people, it could really cross the line, because now you disrespected somebody who's deceased. Or they could take it and say, you know what, we ain't going to say nothing. We're going to give you a pass on this. But everything is on the table. So my thing is, you just got to, you can say whatever you want, but consequences come with that.
This is my thing. This is what I'm learning. I'm learning this every day. People sometimes make mistakes in what they say. It doesn't matter how big the platform or how small the platform. I guarantee you Joe Budden probably went back on that and said, damn, I wish I didn't say that shit. Damn, I didn't. But sometimes you get in that seat and get real comfortable. Success is there. We don't know what he's dealing with personally. He was in his bag and his swag. It was something that he wanted to talk about privately, but fuck it, it came out now. And now we're going to hunt it with it. We're going to go all the way there. And it was a mistake. I don't sit there and hold it against Joe. Now, a lot of people are giving him backlash saying this is the last straw when it comes to Joe Budden. I'm not going to cancel Joe Budden or anything wild like that.
But what they had before that?
Maybe just off of what they've heard enough.
Yeah, I mean,
they've heard enough, and it's a lot of backlash. But I'm not going to be one of those people to say fuck Joe Budden. I'm not going to do that at all. I think he's changing the game out here. I think he's doing a lot of great things.
Right.
And
well, Sam, man, not to cut you off, but think about it though. All the time, you read the comment section. People will say the same thing. I'm done with you guys. People in this business, people are not always going to agree with what you say. We can take that on the chin, but a situation like Joe Budden, you don't want to get known for disrespecting people a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Now, obviously, people who are saying that probably feels like he's done, or somebody on that show has disrespected them, I guess, in some type of way by talking about something a number of times for them to say that's the last straw. I don't watch it, to know what's been said like that, to be honest with you. But
and this came through on the headline, because if it didn't, I wouldn't have heard it, because I don't personally watch Budden's the Joe Budden podcast. I'm busy shooting ours.
Right, exactly.
I genuinely don't. Busy shooting ours. So,
right.
That being said, now it's out here. Now it's points of conversation. You don't know if sports platforms are going to start gravitating with it, and how big the story is going to be. I don't know if he has an apology in place. I don't know if he's going to say, fuck you, I'm around with it. Like I said, that's his prerogative. That's his platform. He's doing great things with it. So he's going to continue to do what he does.
Right.
No matter what it gets him. So, like I said, a little distasteful to me, but hey.
Yeah, definitely.
Who the fuck am I?
But you're tuned into the Ancestor Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sam, man. We going in today on this Tuesday evening, man. We want to let everybody know that, man, we're going to be live and direct at the BET Awards. I think June the 20th to the 24th. So stay tuned for that content. All through that week we'll be uploading and stuff, and we'll be out there, trying to, make some real big connections. So if you're out in the LA area and whatnot, hit us up, man. Definitely.
Indeed, man. There's a number of great concerts going on during BET weekend. Your boys from the Unsaid the Truth podcast will be at every single one of them. We'll also be at the BET Awards show. So if you, like you said, if you're around and you're in the building, let us know. We'll give you guys play-by-play of all the events that we see throughout the evening. Of course, during the podcast that we will be shooting out in LA live for you guys, man. Boy. Can't wait. We're going to bring the set out there.
Let's go.
We're going to park it up. We're going to give y'all a podcast from the fucking BET Awards, man.
Right.
And do our thing. This is what we love to do.
Yeah.
Very excited to finally get out and do so, man, with my brother, Oh God.
And we invest in our own money. People can't talk about it. Like, a lot of people won't invest in a $80 microphone. You know what I'm saying? Man. So it's just like, we're investing our own money. This is something that last year we wanted to do, but we kind of didn't have it like that. We said, look, we want to build it up to where we could take from the
I like my truth uncensored. quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. I like my truth uncensored. My whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. You're now tuned into the greatest. Motherfucker, you ain't never lie. If them people watching us like YouTube, then tell them motherfuckers like and subscribe. If the blunt stale, I still click a bell.